about EVFY Africa. This is the charging system.
Yeah.
There are a number of challenges I foresee when it comes to charging. And they all have to do with the fact that our energy system was not designed or architectured with EV charging in mind.
Yes.
So, for example, a basic one, you see, the PURC currently is illegal. It's only ECG, that's a bulk distributor, that can charge for energy per kilowatt hours. Everybody else, you have to go to a time-based model.
Yeah.
That's a huge challenge.
Yeah, true.
So what is your take? And how are you thinking this through?
Well, I think in the long run, some level of partnerships and collaboration would have to come to play between the service providers and then the ECG itself. And well, there's also the solution of getting the license yourself, getting the license to be able to sell directly to the end users, producing the electricity yourself, or you're buying from. Well, but if you buy from ECG, you can sell. That is the trick there. If you are buying directly from ECG, you can sell to end user because you are an agent for ECG.
That was not a type of contract we have with them. But you see, this whole thing is relevant and it's in a flux because you see, Ghana, unlike a lot of African countries too, especially the north, who are also like that, have a high penetration when it comes to the grid. Our problem is affordability, and also number two, the price. Affordability, that's affordability. So, and reliability, like you alluded to earlier. So you see that there are people who may decide to go off grid, and there are people who may decide to do a hybrid solution. Yeah. And even as a charging solution provider, if you're targeting residential, commercial, whatever it is you are doing, you have two choices. Either you do the solar, like you're independent, or you do a hybrid. Yeah. Now, whether you are doing a hybrid or you are doing solar, the law is saying that you cannot sell per kilowatt hour, which means that you end up eventually shafting your consumers. Because if there are two of us, you bring an EV that can charge at a higher speed compared to my EV. Maybe mine is half the speed of yours, and we all spend, let's say, 30 minutes charging. You will take twice the energy that I would take. You understand? And because the law says you cannot charge me per the amount, now the provider has to charge us based on the time. So even though our time is the same, I am paying twice what you are paying because you are taking twice what I have taken. I don't know that it makes sense. I see it as one of the huge challenges that we need to address. Anytime I talk to people like you who are into charging infrastructure, I want to concentrate because we have to go and talk to the PRC people. It's a campaign that we must prepare and get our lawyers for, so that the solution is to change the law.
Well, it all boils down to technology, basically. So, if you are within the current legal dispensation, there are technology. In fact, our chargers have the technology to be able to configure a system to charge bill on a time basis while taking cognizance of the usage. So that issue can be solved with technology. But that said, it's important that the law must change. The law must change. Obviously, these laws were made without the benefit of current technologies, basically. Okay, so we need to look at the dynamics of today's technologies and then progress with that. Okay, that's up to the regulators and government to do. And frankly, I think there's a will in that direction.
We shall see.
There needs to be a lot of consultation between the
we shall see.
players within the market.
So another pet peeve. Charging standards.
Very, very pertinent. In fact, it's one of the main challenges that in Africa particularly we are going to face. Because if you look at the trend, because of pricing for EVs in particular, and you realize there's a lot of Chinese vehicles that are coming into the market, and most of them, unless you insist on having a particular standard, they will give you the Chinese standard.
That's a GPT.
And if somebody, a charging infrastructure company, is going to install chargers just for GPT, then in the future that company is going to have problems. If you're going to install just for CCS systems, miniature systems, you're going to have challenges because there's going to be a lot more of the Chinese vehicles in the market in the future. So there has to be a universal access at all charging points. That if I come with a Chinese vehicle, I should be able to charge it at the charge point. If I come with a European standard, I should be able to charge it at the charge point. So whoever is getting into the space must have these dynamics in mind.
So you are getting into the space. So how
well, in fact, our chargers will come with all the ports. So you can charge with it.
Which means that you see. Yes, it's one of the things that we are very, very aggressive about. You see, what it means is that now we have to deploy more capital.
Yeah.
Number one. It means that there's going to be more complexity. I hope you understand. When there's actual solution, it's similar to what I was talking about when it comes to the payments, billing methods. You see, if the Republic of Ghana decides that from here to go, all EVs coming to Ghana must use CCS or GBT or Chademo, or we have our own standard. End of argument. You see, because ultimately what we're talking about is affordability. Our pockets are small. So everything that we can do to remove complexity will inevitably lead to a decrease in cost. You see? And also the more easier the technology is to use, and the less you have to think, the bigger the adoption rate, which leads to economies of scale, which also leads to reduced pricing. So that is where the money is for all of us. Yeah, I understand. So I think that is one thing that we must all get on board about charging standard. And all it takes is a pen and paper and the right people who know what they are doing.
Exactly. Well, you let me say this.
Have you had this conversation?
All the time. In fact, during the EV conference, that was one of the things that came up. It wasn't really addressed, but at least it came up. And several fora that I've participated in here in Ghana, have been one of the ones you yourself was part of.
Oh, Spartan Mobility.
Yes, it came up, and you realize that the EV space is not being built for Africa. That has been the trend. We are adopting what is being done elsewhere, and in fact, to tell you the truth, charging standards is a global problem, not just for Africa.
What's that?
Charging standards. It's been a global problem. The Americans were using a different system. Europeans were using a different system. The Asians were using a different system. It's now that you have a one body that is coming together to want to standardize charging infrastructure. That is charging. They want to standardize on CCS and for everybody else. So you realize that most of the vehicles that are coming to the Tesla's vehicles that are coming to Europe now are all on CCS.
Is it?
So for me as a service provider, I may not have control over the standards that are in the market. What I can do is to adapt. So our chargers, if you go to every charger, you have 5 or 4 chargers per unit. Each one of them have different plugs.
See. That is what I disagree with you strongly. You see, EVs offer us, I'm talking about Africa, an opportunity. Because you see, once transportation becomes easier and cheaper, economic activity is like an accelerant, a catalyst. I hope you understand. So there are things that we can do that it not cost as much, but the benefits is way out there. And the main thing is this. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because it's a value chain, right? At the end use space, the main thing is the charging standard. And it's not something that can be done effectively, even at the national level. Like we say, okay, Ghana is saying, Ghana can adopt one, but to be very effective, either minimum sub-regional or regional level. You understand what I'm saying? So it's something that we have to lobby about and work towards. Like, you see, AfricaNEV, for example, is one of the things we are doing. Let's develop a reference framework. Now, okay, what do we need as Africa? Because Africa, we have unique challenges that some of these people don't face. So, apart from the weather, I don't know how many Europeans that we are driving the road. I don't know. How many Europeans wake up 3 days you don't have lights? It's foreign.
Yeah.
It's like me standing up. This is an example. Like me, I decided to sew a winter garment. I understand physics. So I can talk about thermal, whatever. I can get something for thermal, that environment, right? But because I have not lived in the cold, there are minutiae that can even render my whole engineering useless. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same thing we are experiencing here. And that is how we take advantage of our market. That we are deciding that, okay, this is our standard. Ghana, we are small in terms of. Anyway, I think it has been an interesting conversation. I wanted us to, at another time, maybe we'll do it online. I want to hear your take on the EV market. How where you think it was, how you think it's evolving, and where you think it will get to. Especially with the focus on Ghana. Because I'm sure that you're started seeing a lot of hybrids now.
Yeah.
But most of the hybrids, they're not plug-in hybrids. So.
No, just hybrids. But you see, it's progress in the sense that just 2-3 years ago, people were, when they hear hybrids, they think that it's baller. True of us. Because a certain company that shall remain unnamed, a certain automotive company's products. So that guy is a baller. All hybrids are baller. So there seems to be a gradual perception change. What does it do that?
Well, I would say there's even more demand now for EVs. If you talk to, at least from my interactions with some of the companies that we are targeting, especially leasing companies, there's that demand request, particularly from customers, can I get this vehicle, can I get that vehicle? But then if you go to the dealers, they will tell you corporate, that is multinational companies, have not given us the right to sell in the first place. So they are not bringing them.
It's because they don't have.
Yes. So
they don't even have for they themselves. So how much more Africa? And
I met a gentleman who says he bought a Tesla Model 3 in the US, and he wants to bring it to Ghana, but because of the environment, he's still not made up his mind. So there's that
environment. What is? Sorry, we cut you like that. So
it's a chicken and egg situation that we have. Those who want certain things to be in place before they have it, those who are supposed to put the certain things in place so that those who want to have could have
waiting
also was waiting for
to
these
bring the
people to
cars
bring the
before.
cars. So those are
It's a simple to get a problem. Bring the cars always come first.
that is what we all need to look at.
But you see, the other side of this is that this is a function of costs and availability. You see, when people figure out the economies, all this argument about it will vanish. It's the economies that is going to drive the whole adoption.
No,
in Africa, it's not about how do you call it? Environment. These are all nice sounding arguments, but it's about the affordability. When the people realize that I can buy these two cars at the same price, it's more technologically superior, performance superior, it's cheaper to maintain, cheaper to fuel. You say what? We shall drive it like that. And you see, other side is that most people are also thinking in the petrol paradigm. The most critical thing is the paradigm shift. Like they are thinking that Ghana or Africa are famous for buying fuel in tons.
Yeah.
That's in small quantities. Every day you go and buy fuel, maybe $10 or $20. So when I get an EV, I have to charge it like that. But you can charge your car and use it for 5 days.
Yeah.
It's very easy for your city commutes and all that. So people are not really aware of some of these dynamics.
You know, it's the education. I don't know, probably through your platform you could do a program like that would target educating people on the dynamics of the EV marketplace. Because if I sit here and do
we like to come and
I have the math. I will sit down and do the math across all the vehicles and tell you the cost.
The what? Math. Okay.
Across all the vehicles and the cost profiles over procurement, that's buying the vehicle, maintenance, usage. Compare all of that to your internal combustion engine. That would drop something up in your mind.
So, Mr. Kwadwo Asamoah Ansu, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
I think that for the making of many for the what? Making of what was the scripture? I didn't forget. But sufficient the day is the evil thereof. We have to rest it somewhere so that tomorrow too we will continue. But I think from this conversation, it's clear that there's some other conversation we need to have. We'll make time for that. And then also, what you are saying, we'll put you on some panels. Yeah, you have brought yourself. So we'll take advantage of that opportunity. Thank you very much. And I hope you have enjoyed this session. I hope it has been educative for you. So if you are thinking about doing something in the EV space, there's room. It is evolving, it is changing, it is exciting, risky even, but it promises to be different, and I can say that it will never be dull. Bye-bye.